All right, everyone, we'll call to order the regular meeting of the Whitefish Community Development Board next month. It's my understanding we will change to the Whitefish Planning Commission. So for a few more meetings, we are the Community Development Board. So you'll hear us called both in the interim. And today is Thursday, October 16th, 2025. And the first thing to ask is any agenda changes anyone would like to make? Okay, seeing none. Can I get a motion for the approval of the September 18th, 2025 minutes?
Move to approve the minutes from September 18th, 2025.
I second the motion.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the September 18th, 2025 minutes. All in favor? Raise your hand. All right, passes unanimously. And now we will have communication from the public. If any of you in the audience are here to speak on something that's not one of our 3 listed agenda items tonight, please feel welcome to come to the podium, state your name and address, and let us hear your thoughts. Don't move so fast. All right. Okay, so we will move on to Oh, here we are. Hi, you're just in time for community public comment if you have anything that's not on the agenda tonight. So thanks for being here. So no unfinished business that I see tonight, so we'll move on to our public hearings. We have 3 tonight. These are all recommendation items, and the first is WCUP 25-10, and this is a request from Whitefish River Hotel LLC for a conditional use permit to expand the Riverfront Hotel, and we'll hear from Wendy for this.
All right. So yes, this is a conditional use permit to expand the, I don't know, am I on? Yes, you're on. Okay, I'm on. Their hotel so the Riverfront Hotel, which was formerly the Pine Lodge Hotel, they're proposing to expand into the former office building to the south as part of the Riverfront Hotel. They would like to convert the building into 9 1 to 3 bedroom suites that have full kitchens. There will be no changes to the mass or scale of the building. These units will be part of the overall rental pool for the hotel and meet the definition of a hotel under our zoning regulations. They'll have access to the same amenities located in the main building. They'll continue to share parking and access, and landscaping is proposed to be updated. A conditional use is required for hotels in the WB2 zoning district and is also required for the expansion of a use that should have had a conditional use, which hotels, of course, have to have right now. The entire property is 2.6 acres, located at 920 and 940 Spokane Avenue. It's currently developed with a hotel and office building. It is surrounded by commercial uses and then the Whitefish River to the west. The zoning is WB2. The growth policy designation is general highway commercial, and it is served by all public services and facilities. We did our standard notice, including putting the application on the webpage, and we did not receive any comments. We review conditional use according to the criteria in the zoning regulations. It does comply with the zoning or the growth policy because WB2 is compliant with the general highway commercial designation. It does meet our definition, which I've put on page 4 of the staff report for hotels. And we also will recommend a condition of approval that this cannot be a short-term rental. So they can't be like individually rented by the owners of the units. It all has to go through the hotel itself. They're meeting all of the parking requirements. They need 90 spaces. They have 93. The mixed-use non-residential development standards would require a couple of extra parking spaces for bicycles at that new location. The site is suitable for the project. The access meets the standards. It's existing. There is an environmentally sensitive area to the west, the Whitefish River, which has a river buffer of top of bank or 75 feet, whichever is greater, plus a 20-foot setback. These buildings and the retaining walls and kind of all the stuff that's out there pre-exists our 2008 regulations, but any changes do have to comply with our water quality protection regulations. They meet all the different zoning regulations and standards, and they're going to use all of our public facilities and services. Traffic impacts are anticipated to be minimal and actually be reduced from an office building, so they are not required to complete a TIS. The neighborhood is a mixture of commercial uses, including hotels, so it should be compatible with the neighborhood. We recommend approval of the project, subject to 8 conditions of approval, and just a couple of conditions, adding a couple of bike parking spaces at the new facility. Any exterior modifications would need to obtain architectural review, and that, again, this is a hotel, it is not a short-term rental, and it needs to continue to meet our definition of a hotel into the future. Can I answer any questions?
Thank you, Wendy. Toby, do you have any questions? All right. Phil, any questions? Frank? John, go ahead.
In the site suitability section, the paragraph on
Hey,
absence.
John, turn your mic on first.
It is.
Thank you.
I'll get it closer.
Talk directly
Okay.
into it.
That paragraph states, changes or additions require compliance with the regulations. So I take it that must mean a change, a physical change that might affect the river.
Correct, or anything in the
'Cause
buffer.
this is a change, but it's just a change of use.
Within the building itself, yeah. They're not making the building bigger, they're not, expanding their parking lot out into the river or proposing anything with this particular request. But if they make any changes into that river buffer, they will have to meet the water quality protection regulations.
Okay, so if they build a retaining wall, that might trigger that?
Right, and there was a retaining wall, again, it was illegal non-conforming, that was to the south of the office building, future hotel, that was failing, and we did grant them a permit to replace that because it was failing. So it was same for same. They didn't encroach any further. It was exactly the same as what was out there before.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions for staff? Phil?
Just curious, how did they determine that the previous retaining wall was failing?
I'll let the applicant talk about it. It really doesn't pertain to this particular project, but yeah, they get geotech folks and engineers and.
All right, so just a moment. We'll get you up here, just a moment. All right, so now we'll open the public hearing for this item, and first we'll hear from the applicant. So introduce yourself and give your address. Address, thank you.
My name is Justin Dahl. Is this on? My name is Justin Dahl. My address is 1105 Wisconsin Avenue. To answer that question, we knew it was failing when we purchased the property about a year ago. We had a geotech engineer come out and give us a report to show that it was failing, and additionally, it was disclosed by the previous owners.
Do you have any further information to give us an overview on this? This is our time to hear from you guys. If you'd like to provide us with anything, or if Wendy's report is sufficient, that's fine as well.
I think Wendy's report is sufficient. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much. Okay, so now we'll open the public hearing to anyone other than the applicant. If you have something to say about this project, please come forward now. All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. And I'll turn to the board for a motion on this item.
I will make a motion to
Toby?
approve WCUP 25-10 in accordance with the Whitefish City Code, Title 11, Chapter 7, Subsection 8, based on the findings of fact presented in the staff report and subject to the 8 conditions on approval, and recommend that the city council approve the conditional use permit.
All right, do we have a second?
Second?
Okay, thank you, John. So it has been moved and approved. Toby, would you like to, it's been moved and seconded. Would you like to speak to your motion?
I see no impediment for them making it a larger hotel by 9 rooms.
Thank you. Any further discussion on this item? All right, we'll go ahead and take this to the vote. So all in favor of recommending approval as it's been moved, WCUP 25-10. Raise your hand. All right, motion passes unanimously. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, applicants.
As I understand it, Kobe, we're also being visually recorded as well, so that should be taking place as well.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right, so we'll move on to the second item on our list tonight. This is WCUP 25-09, and this is a request by Andiamo Project LLC for a conditional use permit for the use of a beer and wine license, and we will hear from McDonald for this.
Good evening. So this is for 309 Central Avenue, commonly known as Wild Coffee Cafe. No changes are proposed to the site or building. It will remain as it exists today. Some general background and history on the project. In 2021, the planning board approved a conditional use permit for a beer and wine lounge. Where was I? That's okay. For a beer and wine lounge at 12 Spokane Avenue in connection with the applicant's food service business. The food service operation is no longer active, and the applicant seeks to transfer the beer and wine license to their other business, Wild Coffee. As it constitutes a new location and new use, a new CUP is required. The proposed use of the beer and wine license will be accessory to the cafe component of the business. No casino is proposed with this request, as the subject property does not have a casino overlay that would permit the use. Adjacent land uses include WB3 in the entire area, commercial to the west, south, and east, and then a church to the north. We conducted public comment noticing from September 23rd to October 1st. This included posting a sign, sending out letters to adjacent landowners, and publishing a legal in the Whitefish pilot. The proposed use complies with the growth policy designation as well as the zoning regulations. It meets the public service facilities are adequate and available for the site. No anticipated neighborhood community impact, including traffic, noise, dust, smoke, or heat. The proposed use is compatible with neighborhood and community structural, bulk, massing, scale, general context of the neighborhood, and density. It is recommended by staff that the Whitefish Community Development Board adopt the findings of fact within the staff report, and that this conditional use permit be recommended for approval to the City of Whitefish, subject to the included conditions. Do you have any questions for me?
Thank you, Lauren. Now we'll move to questions for staff. John, do you have any questions for staff?
I have one.
All right, go ahead, please.
At page 3, there's the discussion of WB3 Business District. Says the purpose of the district is intended to accommodate financial, retail, governmental, professional, institutional, and cultural activities. I had a question about that, but I think I answered it. What I quoted there doesn't seem to include bars and lounge, but I looked up the definition of WB3, and it seemed to me to include that. So is that correct?
That is correct.
So I would suggest mentioning that W3B3 does include bar and lounge. Maybe a minor addition to your paragraph.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
All right, Frank, any questions of staff? Nope. Phil? No. Toby? No. All right. Any other questions of staff from the board? Mm-hmm. All right. So now we will open our public hearing for this matter. And if the applicants are here, feel free to come up, state your name and your address, and let us know what you'd like for us to know about this. Thank you.
Sam Downhauer, 10 Marina Crest Lane in Whitefish. I really have nothing further to put forth here. I think Lauren did a fantastic job, but if you have any questions, I'm available to answer them at this time.
Right, thank you. Any questions of the applicant from anyone? All right, Toby, go ahead.
Is the sale of beer and wine going to be at the same counter as the coffee and food?
That is correct, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
The idea is to keep it pretty limited, but offer like the occasional mimosa or lunch beer.
Yeah, I'm just curious as to gonna
Yeah.
do it,
It's
across
a
that
great
little
community
hallway.
space that I want to keep the integrity of that and
Yeah.
similar hours, not open past 5 o'clock.
All right, that's all. Thanks.
Any further questions for the applicant? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, any further public comment from anyone on this item? Okay, seeing none, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing on this, and we'll turn to the board for a motion on this item, please.
I'll make a motion that we approve WCUP 25-09, and that is approved and recommended to the Whitefish City Council with the following 4 conditions in the staff report.
Thank you, Toby. Second?
I will, thank you.
It's been moved and seconded that we recommend this item for approval. Any discussion, or Toby, would you like to speak to your motion?
Nope, I think it's fine as it is.
All right. Any further discussion on this? Okay. So we'll go ahead and go to a vote on the motion to approve, to recommend for approval the CUP for WCUP 25-09 with the 4 conditions as listed by staff. All in favor, raise your hand. All right, so this unanimously passes. Thank you guys for coming. All right. And our last item tonight, decision item, is a zoning text amendment. This is WZTA 25-05, and this is a request by the City of Whitefish for, to amend sections 3.10 and 5.9 of the architectural review standards to align with the updated definition of formula business, and we will hear from Wendy for this. Thank you.
Yeah, so this is really just a housekeeping item. Probably should have been handled when the whole, formula business was changed. That happened back in July of 2025. You guys will recall that it went from a formula retail to formula business, and so we just need to update that term because it's also in the architectural review standards. The purpose of having the architectural review standards for formula business is to ensure the final design of projects complement the character of Whitefish versus a typical corporate design. So these 2 areas are the sections that was described is the Highway 93 South area and then the WB1 area. So we review that according to the standards and criteria in the zoning, and then Exhibit A identifies just striking retail and replacing it with business. And we are recommending approval. Any questions for me?
Thanks, Wendy. Any questions for Wendy about this? None. All right, thank you. I'll go ahead and open the public hearing now, which seems to be pretty quiet. So I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing now. And I'll turn to the board for a motion on this item, please.
I'll make a motion to approve WZTA 25-05 as presented in the staff report.
Second.
All right, it has been moved and seconded to approve WZTA 25-05. Any discussion on this? Likely not. All right. So everyone in favor of this motion, please raise your hand. Passes unanimously. Thank you all. Toby, thanks for moving so much tonight. You were the biggest mover. He wins the award.
Several movements.
All right. So moving on to matters of good and welfare. Any matters from the board that we'd like to hear now? All right, seeing none. Matters from staff?
Just as a reminder, Whitney, Toby, John, your terms are up the end of this calendar year, and if you're still interested in re-upping, you need to send Michelle Houck an email.
I've already submitted.
Okay.
I happened to see the notice in the paper on Wednesday, and I was in here talking to one of the planning staff downstairs, asking some questions, and I thought, should I go up and talk to Michelle? And then that night, I got a notice.
All right, thanks for that reminder, Wendy. I got my email today as well. Michelle is on it. All right, so we will now have a poll of board members available for our next meeting, which the next actual meeting for this group, whatever we shall be called at that point in time, is November 20th. Show of hands for everyone who's available. Wonderful. And then we will have our November 6th visioning session, and then also a November 19th visioning session. So 3 meetings scheduled in November. Anyone aware of things that they will have to miss? Miss Frank, I know that you will have your stand-ins likely at some of those meetings.
I may, but I'm, right now, it looks pretty good in terms of my calendar. That's fine. Depends on what gets put in front of me.
All right. Thanks for being here tonight. All right, can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Toby, you win.
Go for it.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor of adjourning. Thank you all, we are adjourned.
Good job, Frank. You hung in there.
Toby, just so you know, as deputy mayor, I also feel about making a motion. I will make the motion just to get it